assassination of Prime Minister Hadi.
نتمنى يوقف العقد التجاري والحدود التجاري.
بدنا اولادنا عندنا 15 يوم يخافوا الله.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us on FutureTV. A minute to me, and these are today's headlines. The families of 25 Lebanese servicemen held by the Nusra Front and ISIS block a major highway in Beirut and another in North Lebanon following the beheading of policeman Ali Bazal. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Mikhail Bogdanov continues his tour in the country, holding several meetings with Lebanese politicians. And American hostage Luke Summers, who was held by Al-Qaeda in Yemen, dies during a rescue operation in the southern province of Shabwa. The families of 25 Lebanese servicemen held by the Nusra Front and ISIS since August have blocked a major highway in the capital and another in the north after the latter group allegedly threatened to kill hostages. The families said they received messages on their phones that ISIS will execute its hostages in a few hours, urging the government to act swiftly. They held the government responsible for the execution of policeman Ali Bazal by Al-Qaeda affiliate in Nusra Front on Friday and announced an open-ended escalation across Lebanon. Nusra Front has vowed to kill another unless the government released women and children who had been detained in the country. The Al-Qaeda affiliate was referring to the arrest of two women, the wife of an ISIS commander and his two children, and the ex-wife of ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi and her children. The head of the Future Bloc, MP Fouad Senoura, has phoned several Shiite political and religious figures, condemning the reported killing of Ali Bazal and describing him as a martyr for all Lebanon. In his conversation with the Shiite leaders, including Parliament Speaker Nabih Berri and scholar Sayyid Ali Fadlallah, Senoura said there was a continued effort to drag the country into damned and rejected strife. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Mikhail Bogdanov has held several meetings with Lebanese politicians. The national news agency says Bogdanov has met with Free Patriotic Movement chief MP Michel Aoun, but he left without giving any statement. He later held a meeting with head of the Kataib party Amin Jmail, where talks touch on the Syrian refugees crisis in Lebanon. Earlier, Bogdanov met with former Premier Najib Mikati and talks focused on the latest developments in the Middle East and the implications they have on the current situation in Lebanon. Bogdanov also met with Lebanese Prime Minister Tamam Slam, Parliament Speaker Nabih Berri, former President Michel Sleiman and Army Commander General Jean Ahwaji. Bogdanov will take part later during the day in a solemn ceremony devoted to the 70th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between the two countries. American hostage Luke Summers, who was held by Al-Qaeda in Yemen, has died during a rescue operation in the southern province of Shabwa. Summers, 33, who was abducted in September of 2013 while he worked as a freelance journalist for Yemen Times, died from injuries sustained during the operation. U.S. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel confirmed Summers' death and that of non-U.S. hostage reported to be South African, saying they had been murdered by Al-Qaeda during the rescue attempt. And coming up next, pocket listing actor James Judley is here. Stay with us. Welcome back onto our very own Yumna Naufal for the exclusive.
Thank you, Linda. Lebanese-American actor and writer James Judley is breaking into Hollywood. That's right, he is the writer and main star of the movie titled Pocket Listing, playing in theaters right now in Lebanon. And he's here in our studios to talk about his latest movie. But before all that, let's watch the trailer.
Los Angeles, city of angels, land of dreams. This is my town. Gorgeous girls, golden sunshine, and money.
Welcome to your new home.
In this game, you have to be ruthless. I do what's necessary to close the deal.
Set me up. Throw me a bone.
You're blacklisted, bro.
You must be lost. What the hell are you doing here?
I'm here with an offer. My husband is Frank Hunter. We have a Malibu villa for sale.
Can you turn this into gold?
It's got everything your average billionaire could ever ask for.
Close this deal in 30 days and give me 10%. That works out to $1.2 million.
It's a $20 million home, and we're ready to let it go for 12.
Cash. Y'all have a little dirt on us.
I don't just sell houses. I deal dreams.
Are we still talking about the house?
Stay pocket listing, huh? Just keep getting you in trouble.
I gave you permission to screw everybody but me.
You wrap the deal. I take the credit.
You got 1 day to sell that house.
We are so fucked. What do you think about my wife? Stunning woman, isn't she?
He has cash, enough to solve both our problems.
You still think you got what it takes? Back where I make deals, when things go sour, they get ugly in a hurry. One wrong move could be deadly.
It's not real friends. It's real estate.
I knew you couldn't resist.
Too hot to turn down.
Sell fast, the wise ass.
It's showing now. Welcome, James Juddi. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So I think the question everybody wants to know is, who is James Juddi? I mean, you were born and raised in California, but you're also Lebanese.
Very much so.
So tell us a bit about who is James Juddi.
Well, I think you did a fantastic job at introducing me, but I guess I'll add a little bit more to it. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California, but I have Lebanese origins, and I grew up loving movies thanks to my mom and dad, who took me to see a lot of films when I was younger, and I really got transported to that magical world of visual storytelling. And as I grew older, I pursued specialties in film production, screenwriting, and acting, and I've been doing a lot of odd jobs and shows and short films and things here and there for a few years. But these past couple of years, we got lucky enough to make not just this film, but another film that was released here a couple of months ago called Reaper.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. This was a horror movie. So just so our viewers know, not only do you act, you also write your movies, and you're responsible for a lot of the producing as well. Which one's better? Which one do you prefer, acting or writing?
You know, it's such a creatively rewarding journey when you write a character that you then play, because you understand the psychology of that character on a whole other level. You know, all his nuances, his emotional journey, and where he was long before the movie even began. So I think the fact that you created this guy and he came out of your imagination allows you to really, really capture his essence on screen. So that's what, you know, I hope to do with both these characters, especially this one in the new film Pocket Listing.
Okay, speaking of Pocket Listing, we attended the premiere. It opened on Thursday, so it's playing in movies across the country. You said that you wrote the character you played. You play a smarty kind of smart head crook kind of thing. So you want to tell me a little bit about your character?
Yeah, as you said, he's kind of a smooth-talking hustler, real estate agent in Los Angeles. We meet him at the top of his game, but due to the twists and turns of the story, he falls from grace and learns some hard lessons about who his real friends are and what, you know, life is all about. And then he gets a shot at a major comeback when Jessica Clarke and Rob Lowe's characters hire him under the table to sell this spacious Malibu villa, and then the plot thickens, as they say.
You have some big names in this movie, Rob Lowe, Burt Reynolds. What was it like working with them?
They were so kind and generous with their time. You know, they really took a liking to both the characters, and having written the characters, you envision them in a certain way, but what they did with the performances and with realizing the personalities of the characters was, you know, something well beyond what you could have pictured.
Okay, that's a very nice answer, but give me something that nobody knows. What's it, you know, what's Rob Lowe like?
Oh, Rob was fantastic. You know, he had very specific ideas about the way that he wanted to wear his hair for this film and the way that he wanted to kind of look. You know, this is a character that could have very easily been played as kind of a traditional mafioso, but he almost wanted to make him kind of a hipster. You know, like someone who goes surfing by day and then like possibly kills someone at night. So he had brought a lot of kind of cool edge to the role that, you know, that we didn't expect.
These are big Hollywood names. And speaking of Hollywood, it's one of the hardest places to break into.
Very much so.
You live in Los Angeles. Is the movie going to be shown there as well? It's showing here. So
yeah, no, we were fortunate enough to meet Empire International at Cannes, and they expressed an immediate interest to want to bring us and the films over here as soon as possible. So we were lucky enough to get them out here quickly. It is going to be unspooling across the rest of the world, not only in the States, over the next, I would say, 6 months. So this is only the beginning for us with these two projects, and hopefully with others.
okay, you know. People probably wonder, how do you break into Hollywood? How do you break into the movie industry, which is one of the toughest industries to break into, especially if you're not connected or your father's not some big shot director. So what has been the biggest challenge for you as you're breaking into it right now?
You know, the biggest challenge is always to get the project produced. I find the business element of it much more challenging than the creative side, even though the creative side has its, has its obstacles. But, to be able to, accrue the necessary financing and put the whole project together, shoot it in a specific number of days, hit all of your deadlines, and just be able to deliver a quality project that has the chance to compete at a marketplace is just a mountain of obstacles. I remember when I walked into the Cannes Festival and I felt, really happy that we were accepted, and then there were like 300-400 other films over there vying for the same attention as yours. So
what's the harshest criticism you've ever received?
The harshest criticism I've ever
Because you
received.
go through ups and downs, right?
No,
like
very
everybody.
much so. I mean, you get told a million times that you're never going to make it. The film's never going to get sold. The film's never going to get picked up. You hear these things from people, and you got to really keep pushing forward because it's not a game for the easily disheartened.
Right. So what's the harshest criticism you've ever received?
All of the above. Your film's never going to make it. You're never going to make it. You can't play this role. You can't do this. You can't do that. And a lot of no's before you get that one little yes.
Did you tell them you're Lebanese and you're resilient?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was your answer. Speaking of being Lebanese, so obviously there is a connection that you've had with Lebanon. You were here. We showed the premiere pictures. Everybody came in to see you on your big day.
Yeah.
Do you think your background made an impact on your career?
Yeah, it actually gave me kind of a global outlook on things, in writing characters and in telling stories. Obviously, you're always looking for material, and having an international background definitely provided me with a lot of sources for, little tall tales and little stories where people were getting into all kinds of different situations.
Right, and you grew up there, so did you come and visit here every so often?
I made an active effort to visit, during summers and for weddings and festivities, and to stay in touch with a lot of cousins and friends and relatives that I have in this part of the world. So I've made an active effort to juggle both worlds.
Do you think you would ever, like a lot of directors, Lebanese directors here, would you ever pick a Lebanese story and then try to export it there, or something of the sort?
That's something,
or have it affect you in your writing?
Very much so. I mean, we're definitely open to universal options and to creating projects that have international qualities to them, international cast members, stuff like that. So we're definitely open to that prospect.
What was the biggest misconception you've had about Lebanon that may have been erased now that you're here, you've met people? What would you tell them abroad if they came and told you, Lebanon, isn't it like a war zone?
Yeah, no, I've heard that before, even just before coming here, and everything here is just so remarkably modern and so remarkably advanced. You come here and everything that's elsewhere is readily available for you over here. Like as we were talking about, the theaters over here are as majestic as many that I've been to anywhere in the world. So I mean, that's always so refreshing to see that people are not only living, but are living well.
People do love to go to the movies.
Very much so.
They really
even more
here.
So than in other parts of the world.
Yeah. So it's a big hobby here. People may perhaps to forget the insanity of Lebanon and
it's
the news
always
and
a good escape.
And the politics. So as the end of year comes close, do you have any wishes?
Well, as I told you backstage, my immediate wish is that people give this film a chance, and that they discover the film and what we're trying to do with it. So as we move forward with other projects and hopefully come back with them later down the line, they remember us as people from Pocket Listing.
Right. What do you want your Lebanese fans to know?
What's
your message for them?
My message to them is that it's a real pleasure to be back here. I'm humbled by all the hospitality, and I hope you guys go see Pocket Listing.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us,
Thank
James
you.
Jordi.
I really appreciate it.
That was James Jordi, the actor-writer of Pocket Listing. It's playing in theaters now. You better go see it. Support Lebanese talent, and see you soon. Back to you, Linda.
Thank you. Now I'm going to have to watch that movie myself. This marks the end of our bulletin for today. Now for a reminder of our headlines. The families of 25 Lebanese servicemen held by the Nusra Front and ISIS block a major highway in Beirut and the north following the beheading of policeman Ali Bazal. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Mikhail Bogdanov continues his tour in the country, holding several meetings with Lebanese politicians. And finally, American hostage Luke Summers, who was held by Al-Qaeda in Yemen, dies during a rescue operation in the southern province of Shabwa. That's it from Yumna Naufal and I for today. Catch us again tomorrow for more of the world's top stories. Take care.